So Sharon and Linda, you probably left it a bit late if you're going to make a move. Melina's friend Emily was a great help with choosing some songs for this evening. Although I'm pretty sure I was a bit of an excuse to do some speed wine tasting. I'd like to thank Emma, Melina's bridesmaid, for all help today and over the last few months. Do feel free to collect the mountain of bridal magazines in my lounge. It's convenient. So please raise your glasses to the bridesmaid.
Start it off.
Simon did it there.
I first met Melina when I was working in a video shop in Weather. I was the weird-looking kid with the odd socks and the skateboard. She was the girl behind the camera. A couple of years went by. I was the weird-looking kid with all the hair and a skateboard. Melina was the girl behind the camera. Another couple of years went by, and I started a rugged-looking young man with all the hair and the skateboard. I started to get the odd free DVD.
Code word.
That's when Melina became the hot girl behind the camera. I want to tell you how much I do love Melina, but I'm far too English for that. And I want to tell you how beautiful I think Melina looks today, but I am far too English for that. So, raise your glasses, free DVDs.
Hey, Mexican wave.
No, we'll get free milk instead.
Chef Farmer.
I'd like to thank my ushers, Matthew and Shirley, for ushering with such skill. There is an unwritten rule that nobody should look in the groom's party should look as good as the groom, so I'd like to thank them for that. They went to that site with such very good stuff. We are all aware that there are people from both families that we wish were here. There's some we've lost, some who couldn't be here. So please raise your glasses to absent family and friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Finally, 23 years and 3 days ago, I made friends with a man called Simon Robert Price. I cried when they tried to separate us in primary school. Remember in middle school, he took it a step further and made his whole family follow us to Weather. Some say he is the funniest man alive. Any references he makes to my hair when I was a kid are just jealousy because he's losing his at a fast rate. All I know is called Price.
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the party you've all been waiting for, my best man speech. I'd like to start by saying the bride looks absolutely beautiful and today sent waves of disappointment through the hearts of single blokes everywhere. The groom, however, although he doesn't screw up too badly, I doubt the news that Simon's marriage will have caused much more than a ripple among single women. Firstly, for those of you who don't know me, hello, my name's Simon and I'll be drinking Foster's. I thought I'd get that in now, saves time later. When Simon asked me to be his best man, I was obviously delighted, but I must admit, the first thing that crossed my mind was stag do. Then as time wore on and the stag do came and went, which, by the way, I was the worst best man ever, as I got sunburnt at the cricket and went home early. However, I'm told it was a very sensible, cultural evening with none of the silliness you often hear about. The groom definitely did not buy 3 portions of chips, one after another, just to throw at strangers point blank in the face. And certainly didn't shout out of a taxi window at passers-by, "You've dropped your wallet!" at every opportunity. However, when this was all over, my mind was immediately filled with dread of this speech, which has got progressively worse right until about now. Being best man is a little bit like being asked to sleep with Camilla Parker Bowles. Bear with me. Bear with me.
No.
Nobody really wants to do it, but it's a great honour. When I sat down to write this speech, I had several ideas about which direction to take. At first I thought about a 5-minute character bashing, but I could really only think of about 3 minutes of material suitable for such a diverse audience. And the minute and a half of that was about his stupid hair. Then I tried to write a timeline of mine and Simon's friendship, in which I was going to regale you all with stories of how we grew up together, how we spent years getting to know one another on various caravan holidays and days out until we established ourselves as being best friends. In truth, it happened pretty instantly. We met in primary school, and I think our first conversation went a little bit like this. Hello, my name's Simon. Wow, really? So is mine. let's be best friends. Pretty simple, really, although there's a lot to be said for this type of friend making. As 25 years later, we are still both called Simon, and therefore must be still best friends. Finally, about 4 days ago, I thought I'd do a bit of research into the history of the best man duties. Where did it start, and what was its original purpose? I spent ages scouring the internet, and I found some pretty interesting things. But then my conscience got the better of me, and I decided, come on, you've only got 4 days left, better get back to the speech. The history of the tradition of the best man goes back as early as the 16th century, when the duty of the best man was to help the groom kidnap the woman he is going to marry. Now, fortunately for me, I wasn't needed for this part. I think Mel gave in far too easily. So I just hope I can get my deposit back on the ski mask and transit. The second part of the job was to protect the groom during the ceremony. But again, this was uncalled for, as nobody tried a surprise attack during the hymns or the vows. Although the vicar nearly got rugby tackled, because I swear she was hiding some offensive weaponry under her robes. Finally, Finally, the best man would have to speak to the bride's parents in an effort to sell the groom as a good husband. Now, try to sell a bloke that sent his mate out in the middle of the night to kidnap your daughter, I'll be honest, is a hard sell for anyone. But as luck would have, we didn't tell him about that bit. So, Mr. and Mrs. Clapham, here goes my attempt to sell Den. I'll go over here for this bit. Den is a problem solver. Many times I've been to see him with a real life-crushing problem, and Dennis said to me, "Pricey, come with me." Then we went down the pub, well, he plied me full of alcohol, until I forgot what it was I was worrying about, and so problem solved. Den is very loyal. He has shown this in his unwavering support of Bradford City Football Club. He has spent years travelling to and from Bradford to watch him get beat 4-0 in the rain. Some of you may see that as being a bit simple, but for the purpose of this speech, we're calling it loyalty. He's a patient man. He watches cricket, and anybody that watches a game with such interest for 5 days just to learn it's ended as a draw has got to be pretty boring. Meditation. Always getting them too mixed up. Then he's very trusting. Any man that knows me as well as Simon does, and still trusts me to his best man, looking after the wedding rings of his and the bride's without losing them, well, my other best mate, Tom, won't even trust me to look after my own bus ticket. Must be quite trusting. He does, he takes it off him when he gets out. Then he's a sexy man. Then he's a sexy face. I just did it that way properly. And finally, Dennis, a true friend. We've been through a lot together over the years, some good, some not so good. But he has always been the one person I could rely on if I needed to talk, or a hug, or I just needed to get absolutely trolleyed and dance to Westlife. He would do whatever it took. Well, he went as far as watching me dance to Westlife. I'm so happy that he's married Melina, because he deserves the best, and Melina's certainly that. And on that note, I would like to thank you all for your time and invite you all to join me in a toast to the beautiful bride and the sexy